What's going on YouTube? Zap here, and I'm back with another video. It's been a couple days, but I have not been slacking. I have been playing games. More specifically, I've been playing the crew beta, which is what you're watching right now. And I've just been, gathering some thoughts and, generating some good video material so I can give you guys some honest impressions of what I've played so far in the beta. So let's try not to waste too much time and go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, I want to talk about the visuals. Now, granted, things are subject to change between now and the release of the game, which I believe is December 2nd of this year. So, it's a beta. Things might change. Mechanics might change between now and the time that the game comes out. So, just keep in mind. But so far, from the graphics that I've seen in the beta, the game looks really nice. The paint of the cars has a really nice shine, a very nice gloss to it. You don't get those weird pop-in textures when you're racing, which is really nice. You tend to get those in games like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, usually in open world games. For the most part, you'll get backgrounds that pop in out of nowhere and textures that will come up on, non-playable characters, NPCs, and things like that. So far, the crew does a very good job of minimizing things like that. Also, I want to say that things like dirt flying up when you're driving on dirt tracks or off-road and things like that, those are all things that I like to look for, and little bits of detail that are nice in the game. Now, granted, the game is not the most detailed as far as the textures goes. It looks like a game that could have easily been done on, last gen, on the PS3 and 360, and I believe it is coming out on the PS3 and 360 as well. So it's not the most technologically advanced. Technologically, I think I said that right. You're not gonna see better textures in this game compared to a game like Drive Club or even Forza Horizon 2. But the game does look pretty nice. It's not a bad looking game. Next up, I want to talk about the actual gameplay. The gameplay is your standard, street racing / off-road, style racer. You have your nitrous, you have your shortcuts that you can take on tracks and things like that. But the real kicker is the ability to customize and upgrade your cars based off of certain tracks and terrains. You're not going to be able to take a car that's designed for street racing and do well with it in an off-road track. It's just not going to work. So you have to find upgrades and things like that that will help your car or cars do better on certain tracks. So eventually you're going to get to a point where you're going to have one car that you'll use for all of your street races, another car that's good for your off-road races, a car that's good for snowy terrains and things like that. And your racing will take place on different parts of the country. So you go further out west, you'll find more desert terrains. You go further northeast, you might find some more snowy type terrain and things like that. So it's really cool that they integrated this so that races don't all feel thrown into one collective box. You can't just use one car and have it souped up and suitable for every single style of race. Also, you have a car that's good for taking shortcuts, but what if that shortcut involves you taking a ramp? You also have to upgrade your car so that if it goes off a ramp and it lands, it can actually withstand the fall. Different missions, of course, you have your standard race and get from point A to point B in a certain amount of time. Beat the rest of the guys in the race, obviously coming first and things like that. But they also got things like, hey, we need you to deliver this car, get it from here to here in this amount of time, but also make sure you don't scratch it up, things like that. So there are little nuances to the races that make them all feel a little bit different while still feeling kind of the same. So that could be a little bit of an issue, that there's not enough variety. Granted, this is just from what I've played in the beta. But if that is the case, if this stays the case, then I can definitely see that being a problem later on for people who want to play something a little bit better. Now, the real meat and potatoes of this game, and its namesake, the crew, is the ability to do a lot of these missions with your friends and with other people in your server. Unfortunately, during the beta, or at least during my time playing the beta, the servers were jacked up and I could not actually connect to anybody and do these races with them. So I was stuck doing all this stuff solo. And while doing this solo, they kind of threw the whole story portion onto it. Yes, this game does have a legit story, which isn't bad, but it's kind of like your standard story. I'm not going to give away too much, but if you watch movies like The Fast and Furious and things like that, it kind of feels like, you know, second nature. It just seems like a generic racer story thrown into it. So you may or may not like it. But overall, from my experience playing the Crew's beta, the game does seem like it's going to be fun. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to play the actual multiplayer. I was stuck doing solo because the servers were jacked up. Hopefully, that's an issue that gets fixed by the time the game comes out. We still have just a little under a month before the game gets released, December 2nd. And yeah, man, we'll see how it goes from here. Let me know what you guys think. If you got a chance to play during the beta period, let me know what your thoughts were on the Crew. How do you feel about the game now that you've actually heard some of my opinions on it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Does it make you want to buy the game now? Does it kind of steer you away from it? Let me know in the comment section what you think. And I'm going to try not to trip over my tongue anymore. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Mr. Breadwinner, take a slice of humble pie. Sit on down and listen, you won't have to wonder why. Hit Atlantis in the spring, spend my summers out in Oz. On that ball with a ball to bang,